This meeting is being recorded.
Please keep yourself muted while our presenter is talking. Please leave questions until the end of the presentation. Captioning is available by pressing the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and please be respectful. And next slide. And tonight's agenda, welcome introductions will be with me, Karthik, and the coalition goals will be with Jennifer, and the campaign to register voters will be with Jennifer and everyone, and the SUSO opportunities will be with Jennifer and everyone, and the DVRW preparations will be with Jennifer and everyone, and what's coming up next will be with me, Karthik. And next one.
And I think this one's for me to take. So I want to say thanks again for joining us, and wanted to start our meeting today just by reviewing our coalition goals. These are things that we really care about, and also connected with our REV Up grant. REV Up National is from the Association of American Association of People with Disabilities, and they've got chapters throughout the nation, and they're working really hard to get just throughout the nation people equipped to build the power of the disability vote, to increase voter access, and to get more and more people registered. So part of our coalition's mandate or goal is to register 50 voters. One of the things that Rio and I have been talking about a lot is how here in Illinois, we have a lot of opportunities for people to get registered. When you get your driver's license, your state ID, a lot of different times when it's just automatic in the process. So we happen to have a lot of registered voters in our state. One of the challenges that we're seeing is when we say, how many people here are registered? We have all kinds of hands going up. And then when we ask, how many of y'all voted in the last election? And a lot smaller number of people will raise their hands. So that's where we get the increasing voter access, because we've asked questions about what are the barriers. So those are some things that we'll probably want to be talking about as time goes on. But we still need to be getting out there because there are people who aren't registered. So I think the first thing that we want to do is talk about what we want to do as a coalition to get out there into the community. So two of the things that we've got are some events that we already have registered to be vendors at or have tables at. So we're going to look at those in a few minutes to see if there are any that you guys want to come and participate in. And then another idea was just for everybody in their local areas to be getting out and do some, I said tabling on here. It might be tabling where you actually have a table and sit in an event that's there, or it could be that you go and speak at one of the organizations or a group in your community. So first thing, I thought we would just check and see how many people are interested. You can raise your hand, you can go off mute and let us know, or put it in the chat. Are you interested in doing this in your local community? What do you think about that? Does it sound scary? Does it sound exciting? Is it something you've done before? Maybe how many people have done that? We're getting some yeses for interest, I think.
Yeah, this is Anna, Karthik's mom. Yeah, this sounds amazing. So yeah, I will be interested in Karthik as well too.
Sweet. I love that. Well, as we've got interests, how many people have done this before? Yes to all. So Jay-Jin, you've done this before. I'm curious to know, for those of us that might not have, are there certain tips that you might have, things you've run into. I put some questions in here just to get the conversation going, but we don't have to follow it exactly. But if there's interest, who could you team up with within your community? It doesn't have to be just you. So for instance, Amber and Anandi and Karthik and I all live in Bloomington Normal. It's Twin Cities. So maybe we all team up, maybe a couple of us team up and do some things here and there. If you don't have somebody in the room, maybe there's somebody else that you know that might be interested in joining in with you. So, and even we could split up our group here and recruit some other people. So I'm curious if you have some ideas of who you might want to join, what resources might help you, where would you consider going? Would you consider, when would you consider scheduling events? And then the why is just to keep in focus what we're trying to do. So I'm going to go to Rio first, and
Hey.
go ahead and raise your hand if you
Okay.
want to jump in too.
Hi, this is Rio. I just wanted to add to what Jennifer said that we do have grant funding. So if you're interested in going to an event and it has a vendor fee, we can help cover that vendor fee as well so that there's no barriers. So if you're looking at a community event, there's an opportunity to vend or have a table and do some voter registration, then we can help cover the costs of the vending fees.
Love that. One of the ideas I've thought of is if you're going to go, you're going to have like what resources would help you? What ways could we help with that? Like, could we support? I know we couldn't necessarily get branded tablecloths for everybody, but if people are going to do this, sometimes is that something we could use for the grant as well? Jay Jin is sharing if there are resource fairs over the summer, fall to table at, back to school fairs could be good spots as well. That's a really great recommendation. April.
So, like, Rio, I was wondering if the lady had got back to you from Shapiro. Because I was thinking, like, that would be a good place also. Or, like, even, like, the colleges. You know, because that's the right age when they're going to get ready to start voting.
Yeah, that's a great idea. She still hasn't gotten back to me, but we may be able to connect. Greg may be able to connect us with some folks at Shapiro. He has his hand.
Yes, I can help with connecting. Although what we found recently is that they're offering registration upon intake to most individuals, so it's a little harder to find people that still need to register there. One of my ideas was teaming up with a local legislator who might be having an event and tabling at their event to register people, and they could maybe even steer you as to what event that might be. For instance, I did a disability forum for Senator Edley Allen, and that could have been a place maybe that we had a place table to register people, et cetera, something like that. Community Skokie has a lot of community events that you might be able to have a table at, that kind of thing.
That's great. And I'm going to put, okay, you said Skokie, like community events. How do you find out about those in your community, Greg?
They have a newsletter, but I mean, Danvers has Danvers Day. You know, I mean, like everything in the world has almost all small communities. Carbondale has summer concerts. No, an event that's already established that they might allow us to just throw up a table and see what we can do.
I
Okay,
know so next week they start in Park Forest near me. They have a concert and like they have vendors out there also.
Okay, so community concerts, that's a great idea. I know for McLean County, we have, and Bloomington, we've got some different like calendars that we can check. So your community probably has something like that too. Karthik has shared in here local disability organizations. So in our community, we have Lifelong Access,
Yes.
Center for Independence. That's a good one. Bridgeway. And is there a rally in town on June 27th? There is it I have got one that I'm going to be sharing, and I'm not sure if it's on the 27th or the 25th, but we definitely have. I'll be interested to see which one. Yeah, so the 27th is on a Saturday. Yes, there is. I think that's the one that we've got listed here. So that's coming up. School transition programs. We have Route 66 goes right next to Bloomington Normal. So we've got some things there. The library, Rio. Get your hand up.
Sorry, my I don't know what was happening with my Zoom. I was also asked to table at Senator John Curran and Representative Laha's back to school bash on Saturday, August 15th at Pleasantdale Middle School. And I forgot to add that to the list of things we've already signed up for. So if anyone wants to attend that event with us as well, we can bring a self-advocate or someone else.
Okay, it's a back to school bash.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write this down so we can add that when we send this information out. Jay, Jen, you have your hand up.
Yeah, a couple of things. We're hosting our annual Accessible Juneteenth celebration on June 16th, and we can give you all some table space there. It'll be at Access Living in Chicago. Another event that's happening coming up is, and there is a registration fee for tables, but it's the annual Disability Pride Parade in July. That'd be a great place to have rev up table and do some voter registration. There'll be hundreds of people there.
Yeah, I threw that in the chat, and there's more than just the one up here. There's at least two happening in the Chicagoland area, and a lot of local communities are having them as well now.
Exciting.
Well, I'm going to go to the next slide, and then I might come back to this one to answer. We could talk about maybe one of the other questions, but these are some upcoming events that we already have some tables for, and some of them you all have mentioned. The Accessible Juneteenth we've got which is on the 16th of June. And then here in Bloomington Normal, they have scheduled our Juneteenth celebration on the 20th, so it can be on a Saturday and more people can come. We're working on getting tables there. The Chicago and Bloomington Normal, the Chicago Disability Pride Parade is happening on the 25th. And then in Bloomington Normal, it's actually the Pride community. So the LGBTQ plus organization is hosting that, but we can get a table there as well. So we're working on that. So anybody in Bloomington, I'll be working this one here. Rio will be working the one in Chicago, which April, I didn't respond to your email. I just want to note that because we were working this out. So we'll figure out that part. So then we've got a couple of other things. The Swoboda Deaf Center Black Pride event is happening this Saturday in Chicago, and Rio has got a table there. So if anybody is free and wants to join, there would be space for you. And then in August, Every Step of the Way Resource Center for Adults with Intellectual Disabilities will be happening. And that also is in Chicago. And there's room for, I think, just one person to attend. So that's something when we have our, at the end, we'll share our emails. And so if you're interested in that, please let Rio know. Greg will be at the Disability Pride Parade in Chicago. That would be lovely. Rio, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we could get a quick head count of folks who would be able to come to the Disability Pride Parade in Chicago, just for my like knowledge. Is anyone other than Greg already planning to go or interested in coming to table with us? You can just drop it in the chat if you'd like.
April, J. Jin, we see you there in the chat. And then this is an event that you can share on your social media pages or just throughout your network, because that would be a really great thing. Now, I haven't been, but I asked a lot of the questions. Rachel said they'll be attending, helping with their agency, so she'll see you there. I was asking Rio about that. If you haven't been before, if you have a table, then you have the opportunity to be in the parade. I think that some details might be, I don't know if that's for sure, if you're planning to do that or not. Rio can let you know. And then after you go, then it ends at Daily Plaza, and there are no vendors for food there, so you'll want to bring some things. There's Rio said there'll be coolers, some fans to help people be cool. So if you Amber's talking about the Bloomington one. I'll come back to that one. Rio, do you want to pop in? Am I missing anything?
Sorry, yeah, I just wanted to add to what you said about Disability Pride. If we get a good head count, I can purchase some sandwiches and food. And then there's also a cooling bus, which is really great. So they have one of the city CTA buses that has like shades down and it's like blasting AC and it's quiet. So if you're someone who maybe like you get dysregulated in the heat, maybe you don't like being in loud environments for like a long period of time, then there's also space at the Pride Parade to just chill. And then I also wanted to say that we'll have like a tent there. So if you're there with someone else and you don't have like a cool space to sit, we'll make sure that we have chairs and waters and everything. So even if you're not able to come table with us specifically, then feel free to just come and like mingle and hang out and take a rest if you need to.
Yeah,
Herb, I see your hand is up. And then we'll go to Jay Jin.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know the Alliance for Community Services out of Chicago and ADAPT are also going to be at the Pride Parade. I think they're sharing a table. Just to let you know, other folks that are going to be there. Because I heard that at the ADAPT meeting last night.
Great, thank you. I just wrote that down so we can be aware, and anybody that's attending can make sure to find their tables as well. Jay Jin, you had something to share?
Oh, I was going to just say that yeah, if you're able to come to the parade, please do. It's uh, always a really good event. I've been part of attending for the past few years and part of our UIC team. And there are vendors that do provide water. And after the parade, there's usually really good entertainment, and it's a lot of fun. So come on by.
Thank you for mentioning that, because that was something else Rio had told me, that there's a stage and for a certain amount of time that there's entertainment there. So
Yeah,
Rio
there's
put in
always
the
really
chat.
good music band and the the marshal and any special guests make short brief announcements, things like that. So it's really cool.
That's great. Rio, I put in there, it's super fun. It's a dance party. So well, I'm sad that I won't be there with you guys. I am excited that we have an event here in Bloomington that we can get out and have another table at. So, and I see in the chat some of our local people here are able to help and with pre-event prep. I see that, Karthik. Thanks for that. I think it's the same here. There's a short parade, and then I didn't go last year, but several of my kids did, and there was like a stage, and it was It was packed, I heard, and a lot of fun. So that'll be great for that. And as Greg said, there are other communities that are having events like that. So I think one, I don't know exactly if it's like Crystal Lake or somewhere up in Lake County, somebody organized one last year and they're going to do another one. So if you're not close enough to the ones we mentioned, maybe there's one in your community that works. And if you find out that there is, let us know and we can share that so other people on our Going Home and Rev Up mailing lists can be aware that they're there. So I think that's all for those particular events. So let's step back just for a few moments and talk about if you do, whether it's on your own or with a group, decide to do a table or maybe speak to a group, please let us know, because we definitely want to do what we can to support you. Make sure if there are other people around, we can try to connect you. If there are other people maybe in your community that we're aware that's there, but maybe you don't know them yet, then we can also just help keep Rev Up National aware of what we're doing as an organization. They have funding as well, and we report to them and they report to the people. So it's always good to be able to share what their investment is going to, so we can keep those grants going. And then if there are, like Rio said, if you have a fee for your table, if you need help figuring out what you would put on your table, we can help you with that.
Hey, Jennifer, Barb has had
Yes.
her hand raised for a while.
I thought that was from your last one, but do you
Oh.
have a new comment or?
No, it's from the last time. I'm so sorry.
I was kind of keeping my eye to see if it went away and went up again, but okay, if we sit at a Rev Up table, can we wear political buttons or shirts? That's a really good question. We are nonpartisan, so when we're representing Rev Up, we have to keep that in mind. But Rio, do you want to comment on like what the shirts can and can't be?
Yeah, so I actually have a bunch of shirts that I want to pass out to you guys. So I think since we just have like a small group here, I can send a shirt to everyone. So after the meeting, we'll do a follow-up and follow-up email, and I'll get folks sizes and addresses, and we can send Rev Up shirts to you guys. And then we have some like stickers and stuff. And then if you're planning to table, we may be able to like, if you're close enough, we may be able to bring you stuff. I have an extra tablecloth at my house. So there's some support that we can provide as well.
Yeah, if you're within, maybe 30 minutes to an hour from Bloomington Normal, I have a tablecloth and I've got different things that we can put out on tables as well. Greg, I see your hand up.
Yes.
Sorry about that. My computer died. Jay Jen, question for you. The party that happens the night before the parade, would that be an opportunity to table? I don't know much about that party.
The open, yeah,
The
it
open
can
mic,
be.
yeah.
I don't know who's organizing, but yeah, I think that could be. Or if nothing else, it could definitely mention, just talk about it or announce it.
I'll check in with Curtis. He usually goes. He probably will know the Skinny or Chewy. They'll both know what's going
Yeah,
on.
Chewy definitely would know.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
I've missed the last few meetings.
Okay.
But,
Thank you.
But yeah. Mhm.
So another thing to keep in mind, thank you for that, JJ, and I'm excited. Chewy is a good, excellent resource to find that information from. If you go, whether you present to somebody or you do a table and you help somebody, especially if they're a disabled voter, that's some of the, like, we want to know anybody that you help get registered to vote. The Rev Up National wants us to get 50. So we want to show them that we're working towards that goal and as we're making progress. So definitely let us know so that we can be reporting. And if you can, and as you're thinking about this, if you have any questions or ideas, just let us know so we can work on that. And then I think that in our next member meeting, we will come back and follow up on this so that we can share anything that events that we went to, how it went, if we ran into any glitches that we can help each other overcome in the future, maybe avoid or find different ways to address. So how does everybody feel about that? Just kind of every meeting. I'm getting some nods here. All right, great. So then the next topic we have is Speak Up, Speak Out. That is happening August 31st through September 2nd, and it's here in Bloomington Normal. There's hybrid, so you can join online or you can come in person. We have an opportunity to show a video. We made a request of the planning committee if we could do like a short video for this purpose, to encourage people to get registered. And we've got Disability Voting Rights Week coming up, which is going to be our next slide. So is that something that y'all think we should do? Are you interested in being part of that committee? Maybe raise your hand or put your name in there if you are, because we'll have to figure out exactly what we want to say. It shouldn't just be one or two people making it together. Just definitely want to have it be a group effort. Okay. And as we're thinking about that, do you have anything specific do you think that we should, that you already know, like, yes, you should definitely include this in the video? Are there any other ways that you think of that we can take advantage of that time when we're all gathered together to do something else for Rev Up? Whether we touch base and just see each other there and get a picture, or if we have other things to that we might want to do while we're there together.
Will we be able to maybe have a booth to help people sign up?
We will have table going home and Rev Up. So it would be, that's another thing. It would be great. If you're going at the conference, you know, the summit, you might want to just enjoy yourself, but also maybe spend some time being at the table, helping people get signed up. That would be welcome.
Okay, that's right here in Normal, so maybe I'll come back.
Okay. Rio.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to acknowledge Kira's comment when we were talking about outreach events, and say that we are able to like work with people. If you're not comfortable being at public events, it's completely understandable considering the political climate. So we can do one-to-one support, like we can do outreach together as a small group. But yeah, sorry, I just wanted to acknowledge that. I think actually Kara left, but I wanted to acknowledge that she mentioned not wanting to go to public events because of the Highland Park shooting that happened several years ago.
Okay, thank you. I did not see that one come through. And if Kira's not here, it looks like we can reach out directly to her and let her know as well. Thank you for sharing that, Rio. Okay, so I've got a couple people for the video, and that's another thing you can email us about if you have some other thoughts on what should be in that. If you want to be in it, if you want to, like, maybe you don't want to help make it, but you're willing to be one of the people that we video to be in it, that's another way you could participate. Greg.
I am wondering if there's a way of teaming up with guardianship and advocacy as a more kind of continual prompt of their awards becoming registered.
That's a great
either in their intake process, their annual meeting process, somewhere along that, where they could offer that and then automatically send them our way as a resource.
I love it. I just wrote that down.
Yeah, Teresa Parks would be the great contact for that.
Yeah, Teresa's awesome. So, and I know her well. So either Jay Jen or I can approach her with no problem.
I think that would be great. I also had connected with one of the other people when they were at the most recent event in Bloomington here. So, but I think starting with Teresa would be a good plan. Oh, Kira's back. Kira, your phone died. Welcome back. While you were gone, Ria, would you say that again? I just think that was.
Yeah, sure. I was about to send you a message, Kara, but I just wanted to make sure that we all acknowledged the comment that you made before about the Highland Park shooting, and how you and other people who are part of our coalition may not feel comfortable being out in public. So we're able to, I think, we're obviously doing a great job at kind of coming up with ideas for outreach and registration. So if you're interested in participating in voter registration, we can find a way that's more comfortable for you and anyone else who may feel that way about being in crowded spaces.
Or if it just might not be something you can do regularly. Like sometimes I'm able to move in the community easier than others. So if that's something that you are also experiencing, there are lots of different ways. Kira, your picture behind you is beautiful, by the way.
This is Kira. Thank you. My mother-in-law painted it. So, thanks. So, yeah, actually, thank you for acknowledging all that. And I did want to share earlier, but just with my processing, something that I had mentioned last time in the meeting, but I'm more than happy to explore with you further is like a way to get more voter registration is through our Centers for Independent Living. It should be if I know it was at Progress Center for Independent Living. Sorry, I'm getting over being sick. And so if you make it it's already part of their process. And so if we could just make sure that it's happening in a more structured way, or even like gather some data around it too. So talking to John Herring, who is the head of the Illinois Network Centers for Independent Living, right? Or there's like an association in there. Anyway, it's our umbrella organization that oversees 21 or 22 cells, Centers for Independent Living. Yeah, so having those conversations and seeing what could be done to make that a more standardized process. And then also talking with Shelley Richardson, and her office is next door to John's, which is so convenient. She is Jen, help me. Statewide Independent.
Statewide Independent Living Council, Council, yeah, of Illinois. It meets quarterly. And I just put in the chat, the next meeting of the Silk Board will be in August. And usually during the Silk Board meeting, there's like some time allotted for guest speaker. I sit on the Silk, so I can see if we don't have a presenter, if we can invite, Jennifer, you and Rio to come in, or any other members of Rev Up Illinois to just talk about Rev Up.
Yeah.
This is real. I love that idea. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up again, Kira. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes. So I was going to say, maybe just to flesh this out for a moment while we're here, inviting John to one of those meetings. To the meeting that you all have. So the Statewide Independent Living Council creates the goals for like the outcomes of the services that we provide based on these 5 pillars of service.
Yeah, the 3 years, it's the 3-year statewide plan for independent living, or SPIL, which on the 5 pillars, I've got goals, activities, identifies key players, and then as the SILs implement those goals or work on those goals, INSIL also provides technical assistance throughout.
Mhm.
But I think another or if I'm wrong, Jared, you can let me know because I'm wrong on that. But the other thing is, you talk with John and Shelly to see about if they could include like rev up information or announcements through their listservs on a regular basis. Shelly's really good at
Yeah,
forwarding emails, but if Incel has a newsletter, things like that, or announcements, because the Incel and Silk both are really good resources to communicate to all the centers across the state.
and this is Kira. I think both of them would really like it. And Shelly
Mm-hmm.
would also like that there would be data that could be taken from it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it could be incorporated into the statewide the statewide plan for independent living. All these words and
Yeah, I
names.
know.
Yeah.
So this statewide plan for goals, then this could turn into something that could be like incorporated into their goal work in the future. So like that could be a nice systemic change and then support this work too.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Would that be something, who would want to take that on to reach out and see? Kira, is
I
that
can
something?
talk with John and Shelley. I'm
Thank
I
you.
For disclosure, I'm the incoming chair of the Silk Board, so I'm happy to do it.
That's a great person to do that. Thank you. I'm writing that down, and then I've got Greg and Jay-Jen reaching out to Teresa. And Barb, I see your hand is up.
I just wondered along with that, and maybe this is not a great suggestion, but I'm wondering if, I know Silk helps sponsor a transition conference, and I know some of the participants would be younger than voting age, but it still might be a good thing to see if you could have something at the transition conference to educate young folks about thinking about voting, and then those that are able to vote can do that. And I believe that's in the early fall, like before the elections.
It usually happens I think this year it's going to be in November, Barb. It'll be right around the same time as the elections, or I think maybe slightly after. I think.
Okay.
But it's
Jennifer
still,
Suzanne is on that committee, and you could talk to her about it.
all right, let me write that down.
If we're talking
Because
about the statewide transition conference,
Yeah, I think this year it'll be in Lisle, Illinois.
it will be, JJ, you are correct.
And that, Barb, that is a great idea, whether it's happening very close to elections or not. That just is a great suggestion. Thank you. I think somebody else tried to talk before. I want to, and I wanted to just acknowledge your idea that you put on there. People that might not be comfortable with in-person events, we could do an online. And I was thinking, like, when you mentioned that, just like office hours, like we can be available. I know that's how April and I met. April had moved and was already registered, but needed to register at her new address. So that was our very first meeting. And we did that online.
Or like even like if we had like, people could register people like everybody because everybody's available at different hours of the day, so like if everybody could have their own timing that they would be available to help people register.
Like there could be a rev up like Illinois account for certain platforms where we do live streams at different times, whether we all have the logins or somebody gives like a certain code for the login at a certain time, and we take up different slots of when we're taking a moment to speak about it and answer questions and also sign people up or aid in the signing up process where they may say, hey, like I know on TikTok, some people can like request to be the person talking with the speaker. And then you can essentially say, hey, so I'm doing this. I'm on this website right now doing this. And you can walk them through it as they're going. And other people can also hear that.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Walk people through the process. Kind of like, oh, there's a word for it, but when you're just describing as you go along what your day is. So we're just registering somebody and describing it as we're doing it, so they're comfortable getting that. I like that idea. So we have Instagram and Facebook, Rio sharing. No TikTok yet, but we've been considering it. So those are some opportunities we could do something like that. So are y'all, who's comfortable doing a live stream? Like, I shouldn't, all right, I like that.
I would like.
All right, we're gonna have to put a list on here. Okay, it's almost 10 till. We've got some closing out things, but we have one more topic. And that is Disability Voting Rights Week is coming up. Last year, it was the week right after SUSO. This year, we have a week in between, which I think is lovely. We can go to SUSO, maybe do some things and get prepared for that. So AAPD, the American Association of People with Disability, leads this national coordination of Disability Voting Rights Week every year. And so they help us with messaging guidelines, event ideas, social media, graphics, and different resources. We do a proclamation every year. We try to get that organized with the governor. We can do press releases and flyers. So that would be something that if we get some of that language together, maybe a team of us, or maybe somebody wants to work on that specifically, but then we can share that, and then we can maybe work together and get it in our local paper and throughout the state. We can get them in a number of different papers. Last year, I did some interviews at SUSO and just asked people about different voting questions. And that would be something else that if you guys are comfortable, we could potentially have more than one of us doing that. I just used my phone and recorded people at different times and asked a series of different questions. And then we took all that video and put together a small handful of videos. But it might be fun if there's multiple people taking the videos. Barb, I see you volunteering for that. I would love for you to be one of the people asking questions. AAPD also released a bunch of different language resources related to Disability Voter Rights Week 2, says Jen. Hooray, that's something we can take advantage of and forward on in our different social media accounts.
Right.
So we've got a lot of ideas here. I would love, we can get these out. Would love for us to get some plans of action. And, if you are doing some of these things, be letting us know throughout the month. But then when we all come back together, we can say, hey, I did this one or I did that one. I've got the names down of the people who volunteered for some of the different video projects. So I'll reach out to you directly so we can get those going. I think that is all I have. So I am going to turn it back over to Karthik so you can close us out.
I had a quick question.
Oh, yep. Go ahead, April.
So what about putting together a short video and posting it and putting it on, putting it up on Facebook on our, across Facebook and or Instagram or wherever, and inviting people to put their questions and comments along the post.
All right, what kind of questions and comments would we be invited? I like the idea, first of all. Great idea. Did
About
you
like
have some
voting,
ideas?
like voting
Okay.
or any,
Yeah.
and or any like, yeah, like the voting and stuff like that. Like any questions like they would have, because you were saying like to ask people like at Suso. But if we put together like a video or something and, we could post it and then people can, you know, that may not be going to Suso or wherever, they would be able to put their questions in.
I like it. I just had another idea. Maybe someone like April could gather all of those questions and then we can video you answering some of those questions. That would be another way to
Yeah.
get the information out. I've got that down too. We will have to see where we can get that out and how that would look. Thanks for sharing that. I really like it. Okay, I'm going to go back to Karthik so that you have time to actually get our last slides on this meeting.
Okay. So what's coming up is the Going Home Coalition member meeting is on June 17th, and the Going Home organizing meeting is on June 25th, and the next Rev Up meeting is on July 2nd, and the summer educational series Justice Reform and the IDD Experience is on June 17th and July 15th. And next slide. And the digital literacy series is on Tuesdays at 6. And frauds and scams and internet security and online safety and digital citizenship. So you have those. And next slide. And thank you for attending today's meeting. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Hi
everyone.
everyone, this is Rio.
Thank
I just wanted to say we're still looking for a host for our education, or not a host, a speaker for our education session for Going Home Coalition. So if you or someone who you know would like to come present, send me an email and we can organize that. I know it's kind of late notice. We had a shift in schedule. Otherwise, me or Jennifer will talk about something relevant to current events and the IDD system.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi.